It's nice. I like people who like early lessons.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and this kid, we did 6:30 and she actually asked for earlier. I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm up at 2. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to guess he's warm blood, not draft, as far as size. Because I just came from a big percheron and she was warm blood, so.
Okay.
If you were at all inclined to, if you get T-posts,
Okay.
you can slide these right down on top of T-posts and it'll make your round pen stand up straight. And you can only, you don't have to do every one.
Okay.
You can do like this one and then 3 down, yep.
Okay.
And then it'll get, so that way also if he ever crashes into it, it'll be much more stable.
Yeah. Okay. I do have some, so I'll help me with that.
Hi. Hi, can I talk to you for a second? Huh? What do you think? Thanks. Oh! You're not supposed to eat on the go like that. So are you familiar with rope halters?
Yes.
As far as tying them?
I think so.
Okay, well I'll have you tie it and then I'll tell you.
All I did was like, now I have one, and all I did was just the through and the through.
Nope.
Okay.
It's okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your adjustment.
Okay.
You're going to scissor the crown piece.
Okay.
Put your thumb, hold your adjustment.
Okay.
Then come in on your ring finger. You want to wrap the rope around the loop, not around the crown piece.
Through. Okay.
Because if you wrap it around the crown piece, it can get loose on its own. So, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and get a feel for that.
You said thumb?
No, scissor. Yep, there you go. Yep. 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 Good. The flies are bugging you like crazy, huh? Good job. Okay, so the first thing I teach is my wiggle. And my wiggle means all kinds of things. It means back up, it means pay attention, it means I'm about to, like if they're running, I'm about to tell you something different. Pay attention, it's excuse me, let me tell you something. So it really helps all the downward transitions. So it helps to have that be the first thing that they learn. What do you smell? Goofy. So what I'm going to have you do is, I'll describe it. So you're going to have the tail of the rope with the leather piece actually and facing back to you. You're going to point your finger out and you're going to just wiggle your finger at him only. Yep. And of course he doesn't know how to back up to that. But that's going to be your ultimate goal.
Okay.
Is to be able to look at him and just go like this and he'll go, yes ma'am. Okay. But we have to teach it to him. So what we'll do is we'll wiggle our finger at him. We're going to drop all the line away from him. We're going to try to teach him to have a little self-carriage so that way he doesn't have to be micromanaged like that. And so we're going to wiggle the rope with our finger, nothing. Wiggle the rope so it wiggles on the ground in front of us. Wiggle the rope so it wiggles on the ground in front of him. And then we're going to wiggle to where the snap makes a movement. As soon as he walks backwards in one step. So now, once you initiate your starting to ask, you cannot stop until you get a backup step. Kind of at whatever it costs. So, because otherwise he's going to learn that there's room for discussion, or he's not going to believe in your belief in yourself. So like if you were to ride him towards a wall of fire and you know it's clear on the other side, if he doesn't believe you, if he thinks you're going to second guess yourself, he's not going to trust you and go.
Okay. Got it right.
Yep.
Can I tell him to back?
You can, if you think he knows. So now go ahead and wiggle so the snap moves. Okay, so I'm going to have you get a little bit more out of his space. So I'm going to show you.
Yep.
Come here, bud. So you're going to wiggle at him, he doesn't know it. You're going to wiggle on the ground, doesn't know it. You're going to wiggle on the ground, he doesn't know it. You're going to ask him to back As soon as he backs, you're going to go dead. Now, luckily it's a weighted line, so it goes dead as soon as you need to go dead. We're going to be able to do everything one step at a time right now, because if we expect him to back up 10 steps, we're crazy. Your energy has to be that of like a dominant horse. So it's like, get back. When he gets back that step, remember when you were a kid and you wanted to stay up an extra half hour and you bounced around, Mama, please, please, please. And as soon as she said no, you're like, that drain of energy is the drain that you want to practice. So like when he did that backup step, back, 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 back. Your energy has to go completely away. So that way he can find that you will always tell him when the answer's right. Because if you stay alive and he backs up and you're like, okay, good, great, glad you did it. He's going to still feel all your energy and he's not going to know he did it right. But when you drain your energy and everything else goes dead, he can go, okay, that made some sense. Okay, so now, since he's so big and he's going to let you get kind of rough with the saying back, 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 back. Okay, so that's going to be the way you can turn up the volume without being so rough with his face. Some horses are sensitive and you can get with never having to get real loud, but he requires you to get real loud. So you stay standing where you are. Yep. And stop. Good. 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 Now, yep, it's okay. It's the backward thought. Now that lick and chew is him digesting what you just taught him.
Okay.
And if it's okay, can I break one?
Yep.
Just because it drives me crazy. Yep. Is I don't slap a horse.
Okay.
I always scratch him. I know it's normal.
To like pat him.
Yeah, no, I know it's normal, but it's like I watch horses and they blink like that and even pat a dog on the top of the head. But if you scratch them, especially if you another thing, I like their price. So what I mean by that is they'll be willing to work for you like crazy if they know there's something in it for them, and I don't do cookies. Okay. So what I do for their price is find a spot.
They like it.
But the trick is never satisfy the itch. Because if you satisfy the itch, then they don't care anymore. But if you leave them kind of hanging like, oh, could you do that a little bit more? Now they'll work harder for you. So I always find their itchy spot. Usually, one on the withers or the elbow. And then just it, and then be like, okay.
Give them a little.
Yeah, say that's what we're doing. Okay. So now, everything starts at, imagine what your ultimate goal is to be standing here and go. And your horse goes out on the circle, and you just stand there until further instructions, right? Yeah. So we want everything that we start, every energy that we start has to start off with that goal in mind. So when we start to ask for the backup, it's first this. Then we start turning the volume up. A 2 volume is acceptable. A 5 volume becomes offensive. A 10 volume is rude. So we want to make sure that we try to stay in the acceptable volume if we have to add volume at all. And then as it's necessary, we're going to take up the volume. So I changed having to go to a 10 where I'm loud on his face to going to, say, a 6 or 7 on his chest. So we try to stay out of the 10. 5, we never want to start at a 10.
Right.
So just as soon as you think to ask him for something, don't think the highest volume. Think the lowest volume, and then that you can bring it up in increments. Okay. And you're going to stand. Say they can't hear you if they can't see you. Mm-hmm. So he has to be able to see. So if you're up in front of him, on top of him, he can't really see you or can't see you.
Do it back again?
Yep. Nope, and you don't even have to wiggle, you don't even have to walk around him. You could just be like, listen, dude, you were standing there, I asked you from there. And if they back up true, they'll back up straight. They won't back up sideways. So go ahead and turn that into a flick in the chest like you would with a good, and stop. Good. So the flick, that worked well too. The flick in the chest is kind of like you take a dish towel.
Kind of like pay attention.
So it's kind of, where you give them a little flick. So if you can master that without without getting him in the face. Otherwise, the way you did it is perfect. It worked. But this has a little bit more bite to it, where they'll go, oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Because the idea is you want the yes ma'ams to come out without being a bully to him. Okay, so go ahead and ask for that backup again. Don't worry about getting in front of him. Start in front of him, and then if he moves around, then you can just keep asking and back up from wherever. Good. Good. Okay, do one more. You'll start to notice his attention will become more focused on you because he's more interested in what you have to say. Okay, one more. That's okay. It still was a backup. I take advantage of all the give-me's. Go ahead and turn it into a flick, but don't turn the wiggle off.
Okay.
Because you're still asking for the backup. There. Go ahead and do another one. He's the type of horse that you have to go right back to it instead of giving him. Go ahead and turn it into a flick. Good, and good, good. Now, the cool thing is now, the energy, good boy, yes, you're good. The energy it took for you to make that step in there to flick him is what he actually responded to. Okay. So I want you to remember that in your body and use that first before you actually come in for the swing, because he'll probably back up that energy. And that's the idea. We're trying to teach him to respond to our energy. So give him that. I think that's what's next. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and do one more. It's the quietest volume as you can. Make sure your energy is the same, though. You don't want him to back up to because you're telling him, get out of my room kind of feeling. But don't turn your energy up on it to make your impression that way. Yep. Good. Good boy. Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use it now. And we're going to back up. You back up from a horse, that's a draw. So anytime you back up, if your horse comes with you, he's not being bad, he's doing what's natural to him. So what you're going to do is you're going to step, and you're going to try to create a distance with him. What we want to do is now, because he crowd, and he went over, he really, you're a human speed bump. So what you want to do is you want to tell him to back up, and then you're going to take a step back. So you keep trying to get the distance.
Okay.
Once is not get out of my space, your mentality now is you're going to do hand. You're going to just kind of be laying in your hand, doing this. He doesn't come, closing your fingers, but you're going to still keep combing the rope. You're not going to close and pull. You're just going to keep, and you're just going to start dragging your hands on the rope. When he starts to, you're going to be in kind of a clear position. When you think he's come far enough, where you want to protect your personal space, I call it your dance space. If you have your dance space, he starts to come into your dance space. Tell him he's going to learn that first, and then if he doesn't respond to that, yep. Good? Good. Go ahead and ask him to back up again. You do not back up with him. Or you don't step with him. Ask him to back away from you. You can take a step at him, but don't walk in there. Make him think that you're going to come in and flick him in the chest. Good. Good. Now, I'm going to hold him because I want to create space between you, so I'm going to hold him so you can back away and he doesn't do anything wrong. Good. Good. Now I'm going to have you invite him to you. I would say no closer than that buttercup. You can come past the dandelion, but no closer than the buttercup. Over slightly. There you go. Okay.
Too much?
Yeah, a
Too much,
little bit.
man?
Yep. So I'm
Felt
just
like
gonna,
it was too much.
I'm gonna show you a little bit what I mean. Back. 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 So I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna tell him it's far enough. I'm gonna let him know.
Exaggerate.
Yep. And then you gotta let him know, because see, right now have a conversation, but he's not that into it yet, so he hasn't pulled up a chair yet.
Right.
Once he starts to figure that you're not matter anymore,
Yeah.
he won't be looking at anything anymore. He'll be like, "Yes, ma'am. What else can we do?"
Yeah.
Okay. So to that point, which he's getting close, he what you want me to do? Good. 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 As soon as you took up your body energy, did you see how that made the difference? So that's what you want to mimic. That in the beginning, so that he actually responds properly. And stand up. Wiggle, wiggle. He's coming in. So wiggle the rope. Yep. Get him to lean back off that foot. There. Good. Good.
They're not stationary, so they flap up, but.
I think he's gonna get to the thing. That, like right there, would be valuable, right? You went to leave, and you did leave side. Still, you can pull them with your hips. Okay? But sometimes, often you're in. What you can do without being offensive is you can just do a gentle wiggle to say, "Hey, I didn't,
Ask.
use hoe and weight."
Okay.
So, like, if I was to come to a gate and I needed to continue past my horse, but I wanted my horse to stop here, I'll say wait. That means you stop moving your feet. Can you move? I'm going to give you a way now to use that. We're going to tell them what to do. He sees this is really boring, but it so
Well,
pays
it's
off.
important.
It
Yeah,
pays off
yeah.
in the long run.
No, this is exactly what I'm gonna just.
Because I feel like I'm back up, like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, and just memorize which direction would be the move where he can be successful and not make an accidental mistake. Yes. And why is it? I just want to make sure. Where if you asked him to say with his feet like this, going, don't want to make him make mistakes that we have to tell him he's wrong.
Yeah.
The whole idea to give him the best deal we could possibly give him. I'll have to just sit right on his butt. Good thing they're not the shock ones.
I know. I was like, she's gonna come here and she's gonna hate it. She's gonna hate it.
Hey, look, he's just letting it sit right on him. Silly. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask him to back out of our space. Now on a circle. Now you lunch horses and they just kind of start chasing them out until they're finally out on the circle, and then they spend all their time still chasing them.
Yeah.
Yelling, trot, and the horse is trotting like he's trotting. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
So my big goal is to get people to just leave their horses alone. Way is the thing. Then I'm gonna point when you're facing your horse. You point this way or point this way, right? But actually, if you see line, for a second.
Yep.
Hey. Back. 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 So if I was to tell him to go that way, and I me.
Yeah.
So I don't actually use the line to tell them the direction. I point to show them the direction I want them to go. So to point for him to go. him to look behind him, okay?
Okay.
Instead of trying to come towards him. So there's no suggestion on the line at all what I'm going to do. And now his shoulder to follow his nose. And I just want him to cross his feet over. I'm not going to ask him to go. If he doesn't know any better and he goes, then I'm not going to make him wrong for it because he doesn't know any better. But I only want his feet to cross over, and my energy dying should be enough. If he, okay, but I always tell my horses everything I want from them. I horses will never have to guess. So I didn't want him to leave. But if I wanted him to leave, I would have given him a single kiss, which is walk. If I taught you, so it's easier.
It's easier, yeah.
So for walk, I kiss. So I'm going to get his attention again. Hey, hey, back, 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 back. Boy, back. We're not back. Good. So I'm going to tell him. So I'm only projecting my idea. Now his nose is turned. Think of their nose as like the front of an airplane. Wiggle if he thinks to go forward. So there's like I'm prepared to say don't go forward. And I'm just talking to that shoulder now to follow his nose. But he went forward. So I don't want to go forward. I'm going forward. Back. Yes? So I'm going to get a little bit more in front of him to help him.
Okay.
Yes? Fly related. Good. Leaves. I'm not mad at him for leaving. Okay, so I'm going to have you do that, and we're going to go each direction based on which position his feet are in. So you're going to be part of the problem with the crowding. So don't up on him, and then we can teach him to stop being so up on you. So his feet are not in the position to successfully do that without going forward. Yep. Yep. Get his nose to turn the way you're pointing. So, yep. Yep. It's okay. So just what you're going to do with the line in your hand is you're going to, so with this line, this is your support hand. Yep.
Go like that.
Well, until his nose turns, you're going to just wave your hand with the rope still hanging out of your hand. You're just going to wave your hand like this. Literally, yep, like yep. So you're just going to use, yep, there you go. There you go. Okay. Back in my face again. Don't make your decisions on where you are. So consider their nose like it's the front of an airplane. He cannot go where his nose is not pointed. So we need his nose, see right now he would go the wrong way. We need his nose pointed in the direction we're going to ask him to go. Morning. I'm Kristyann. Hi.
Foundational stuff. I'm not doing so well, but I'm trying.
Go ahead and ask him to back out of your space. So now you backed, and also it was lucky he started to come with you. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second on that. Okay, because that just did the wall of fire. Okay, you said back, and then you said,
And then I stopped.
wait, let me get myself back together. All of those things tell your horse that you have not actually made a decision, and then they do this. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you say, I've decided I'm going to tell him to back up, it is mission now to at least get one backup step, even if you have a bug going up your nose, right? Okay. Good. Now try one more gentle one. See if we can't get him to realize what happens first so he can start to responding to the better deal. So your energy, remember? So, okay, I am going to actually stop you. So right now your energy is, I want my horse to back up. But if your energy was like fast, if your energy is that from the beginning, he'll respond to this because you said get. You wait until finally you're like ready to make it to that body thrust. And if you wait until you're going to really act on it, then that's not fair to him if you could have offered it to him from the beginning.
Yep. Back.
Good, and stop. You can ask for another step. And your goal is to back him away from you, not you get into his space. Good. Back him away one more step. Make him think that you're coming in for that shot. There you go. Good. Okay. Now you did come into his space, so you are going to be part of a crowding problem.
Okay.
Okay? He's a good boy. Yes. And that's... Yeah, yeah. Yeah?
I ride him, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing on him.
Here's your next client.
So it's like,
Yeah, and he probably has a natural... He was a police horse. He probably has a natural horse. A lot of police horses did that. So I'm surprised he's reluctant. He's not reluctant, he's uneducated. So I'm surprised how uneducated even if he would have had that background.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and still ask him to get out of your standing just like the same distance between you and me. And once you have that, then you're going to ask for the feet to cross over one direction or the other. So now, look at me as if you wanted me to back up. I think I'm like, I want to come and climb in your lap. Okay? It has to be like let's just say I am the person in your office you can't stand. I just came in your office. Get out! Right? No, but take down all the funny. Like you have more of a joyous, you want to look mad. You want to look dominant. It's like when you see the horses out in the pasture, okay, and let's just say long horse his ears. You want that, where that other horse now will go, oh, bad.
she's totally got that in. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Well, yeah.
I have a picture in front of her, so I think she's having a moment. But
Oh, that's okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
come on, girls.
Well, it's different when you're in the situation.
I know.
You gotta
Of course,
feel 'em.
of course. So that's why sometimes it helps to imagine the way the horses are with each other. So, like, if I was the lesser horse than him, and I was going over to go ahead, right? I would be like, oh, my bad, right? So you see horses, can they just look at each other and they can make things happen? I have ponies that can lunge each other. Yeah. Literally, I have a pony that can like make the other horse just keep running circles around him. Yeah. Change direction and get him to go the other way. Yeah, I have video of it. It's pretty cool. So they can make it happen with you, so we can do that too. But out of a step, an equal or lesser to him, meaning you're just a pasture mate. Right? We want to make sure that he starts to believe that you're a leader. And your hay is sacred, and he's in your space. Like that look that you had on your face right in there to see how his ears changed? His ears changed because he's... Yeah, well, you make me business. Of course, then we stopped because I was talking to you, so then he's like, okay, it doesn't really mean anything. Didn't mean anything. You out now.
Struggle. I do struggle.
I know, it was one of the little bomber ones, huh? Okay. Your energy, right? He
You walk around practicing
yeah.
this all the time.
Yep. You see, I say, hey. Back. Back. So now I told him you can respond to this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you do that. Okay? So now I want to tell him, nothing personal, buddy. We were just having a conversation. It took you a little bit to get the meaning of it. I always want to, got to be buddies. There you go. There you go. Good. Now, there was no reason for you to go with him, right?
Yep.
Good.
No reason. Got all this rope.
Yep, and we want him to go away from you. That's the goal
Okay.
right now. So, make not advanced enough, but make your goal. You get half away from you. Yep, away from. Huge improvement. Now you can go pet him and tell him it was nothing personal. He's actually a really, like, he's typical drafty.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, my draft is really a duh guy, kind of guy, which is good. It's a great disposition. So you can. So go ahead and do that so he knows not to come with you. There you go. Good. Ask him to back up one step. Mean it. There you go. Good. Now, which way can he go the most successful? Yes. Go ahead and point to that tree. What I suggest you do is, like, with the line in your hand, like, you're just gonna wave. So you're gonna make this obsolete. You're gonna wave at his nose to get his nose to turn, and then you're gonna put your focus on his shoulder.
Okay.
But until his nose turns, he can't follow his nose. Good. He didn't. He came into your space, and it would be more dangerous at this point to.
Yeah, that's right. Mike put on him wasn't out there for even spray. So.
Yeah, actually, I did one today. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm scared to death of the bottle. Here. Okay. I don't like that thing coming at me.
It's a good guy.
I'm sore all over Christmas. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah. I feel better. She came in and started attacking me.
With a foreign object.
You stay away. Hey. They're my stain.
But it was honest. When you look back at the video, you'll see it was very honest. His ears, when horses put their ears both forward, it's asking a question.
Okay.
And it was a very honest, he wasn't trying to be crowdy, he was trying to be good and come with you.
Yeah.
So then if that were the case, and that's why you always want to be fair, you would just turn around and say, no, that's not, I don't want you to come with me. Which you did, but I just want to make sure you knew he was honest. He wasn't crowding you to be a jerk. Okay. All right, so now we still got to get the crossovers.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and back up again.
And I did it again. Mean it.
Yep, you know what? Think of your eyes as some kind of torch that you put on his. Believe it or not, horses don't respond that well to eye contact.
Yeah, right.
So I look at their chest or their legs. I rarely look at their face unless I'm like, excuse me, you know, like if I'm really meaning it.
Yeah.
But usually if I'm just trying to express to them, I focus on the part of their body that I want them to move away from. So I'm putting my mental and my visual pressure here.
That makes sense. Like if I was lunging him, I'd look at his.
Yep. Yeah, I'll probably blow your mind on what's different about that, too.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
No, absolutely. Eternal learner. I learn with every horse. I learn with every person. I'm happy to. Yep. Now, so especially in that case, say, but I didn't tell you to put it back forward. So that's where you can start teaching him about standing. So you could teach him how to ground tie by teaching him that if you told him to stand there and then he said, but what about this? And you said, no, that's not what I said. And you put him right back. A lot of times, like teaching him on cross ties too, you know, people think it's about grooming him. No, it's about not during the learning phase. If I'm grooming him and he gets out of, I have to stop grooming and fix the position. That's the lesson. not me trying. Once the horse knows how to just stand for
there.
you, then you can aim your goal.
Yeah.
But so again, told him to back away. Like now, told him to back out of there. Good, and then you grudge. So and always everything he does was just an honest mistake, you know.
Yeah.
So there's never a grudge because they don't keep grudges, and just be like, hey, but I didn't tell you to do that, you know. And depending on the severity of it, if it's a safety issue, then be like, hey, I didn't tell you to do that, right? But in the case like that, it says, hey, I didn't tell you to come forward. So now go ahead and tell that other foot to go back too. Yeah, you can start off gentle like you were, but you want your look to be that of I'm coming in to smack you in the chest if you don't get out of my space. Make him think that that's what's coming. There you go. Make him think that's what's coming next. Yep.
I did. I saw him.
Yeah. He for a split second there, he took you seriously. There you go. Good.
Wasn't thrilled about it, but he did.
Yeah. Oh, so preoccupied.
I know. Poor big guy. Like leg up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, until you create a space between the two of you. So that's kind of going to be your goal to stop moving forward too.
Back.
Yep, there you go. And don't chase him. Now ask him to take one more step back. Yep, start off gentle, then turn up the volume as you need to. And definitely, the wrong answer is uncomfortable. So if he suddenly came forward, you'd get as loud as necessary to say that was the wrong answer. Good boy. Now that was a question. So he just asked you, did I do okay?
And he did a half too, right?
Yep,
Cool.
yep.
Kind of like I was going to
Good.
go back, but I'm going to stop.
Yep. Well, when they start, it's really cool is when we start doing crossovers and they stop like this because you drop the energy early, that's when you know how in tune they are. Because they're like, oh, you only need this much. And now I'm like stuck like this, and they sometimes balance themselves back out, but they won't finish it.
Everything you're saying sounds so commonsensical.
Right.
But it seems like we should know, but you just don't till you hear it, right?
Yeah, I was told I was an overpaid common sense teacher. But that was coming from another trainer who hated me. So.
You know, that just means that
You're an overpaid teacher of sense. Okay, so nope, look at his feet, look at his feet. Yep. So the idea is to give him the best deal. We don't want him to make mistakes. There you go. Now focus on his shoulder. Ask him to follow, and be careful how much energy you give him because we're not asking him to go. We're just asking him to cross his feet over. We'll teach him go in a minute. Yep, first his nose, then his shoulder. Yep. Now don't wiggle because that means back up. And do a good job by doing it. So it's fun paying attention to how much you actually say and don't mean to say.
I know.
or wiggle when you don't
Saying back up.
yet you wiggle.
Yep, you're saying back up, but you're not really meaning to say back up. How often our horses are like, what the hell do you mean? Yep. You thought about it. There you go. Good. And it's okay if he leaves. We don't want to make him wrong for leaving because he doesn't know any better yet. Aw.
That one thing. You want to put some on your hand and rub it in that spot? I mean, it's going all over.
Yeah, it's hitting every spot you could possibly get on.
I patted him again. That's
It's
gonna be
okay.
a habit I need to unlearn.
Yeah, but know what? Let me tell you something. When you catch yourself is when you can finally change. I can tell you over and over and over again, but until you actually go, ah,
I did it. Yeah.
then that's when you can finally change it.
Yeah. Good boy.
Okay, go ahead and either get out of his space, back him out of your space, whichever, but know if you back up, he's going to follow you. Good. Now that was a perfect conversation.
And I wasn't looking at her eyes, but I believed her. From behind, I even believed
Yep. So go ahead and tell him to back up one step only because you did tell him to stay there and he got away with coming that one step forward. So just so he understood. I didn't want him to cross. Yep. Okay, now. Okay, so I'm going to tell you one more thing.
That way, right?
Yep, I'm going to tell you one more thing. You said back,
And then I didn't make it back.
and you didn't make them back, and then you changed your plan. So those are the things that keep them from going through wall of fire for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Good, good, good. And he licked and chewed. That meant he digested something about that particular moment. So first his nose, and then encourage the shoulder to follow the nose. So first his nose. Don't get in there. The whole idea was that you were going to stay away. Yep. Yep, and don't pull him towards you. Remember? Yep, there you go. It's just a suggestion with that hand. Yep. His nose needs to turn or he's coming forward. There you go. There you go. Yep, there you go. Use that. Use that. Yep, he's thinking about it now. Yep, there you go. It's okay. It's okay. Good boy. It's okay. Good boy. Okay, so I'm going to show you how precise you're going to try to get that to be.
All right.
Let me borrow him, please. Okay, come here, bud. Back. Back. Just go that way.
Yeah.
Hey. So right now I'm just suggesting that his shoulder follow his nose. That's all I wanted. Okay, wait. Back. Back. I'm not done. Back. Back. One more. One more. Hey. Hey. I'm talking to you. So his nose, so I'm going to wave his nose to follow my suggestion. Then I'm going to, so I'm going to wave his, excuse me, wave his nose. Hey. Good. Good. It's okay. Go ahead. Because he's so far away, I'm just going to tap his nose very low. Oh, that's up anyway. Back up. Listen. Listen. Hey. Good. Good. That's okay. This is grass. Okay.
We're going to be practicing a lot.
That's far enough. Far enough. Back. Good. And what I want you to practice the most is your dance spaces.
Okay. Keep enough.
Yep, that's perfect right there. Give him the responsibility for his body and be responsible for yours. Micromanaging is over. We're not going to micromanage our horses anymore.
Okay.
Good boy. They prefer to have responsibility. Okay, from there, have him go that way. So you can wiggle to tell him, yep, pay attention. Now you got to back him up. Okay? Be careful.
Okay.
Point to that tree. There you go. See, now quickly he said, wait, I'm supposed to do something with my nose. There you go, stop. Good, good. And don't make him wrong. So if he needs to leave, let him leave. Don't make him wrong for leaving.
Yeah.
Okay, so by catching him when he left,
That's
making him wrong.
Okay.
He'll learn eventually that he doesn't have to put in that much energy. All that overachieving,
Okay.
let him overachieve all he wants for right now.
Yeah.
Eventually learn it wasn't necessary. Okay, so let's see if we can get him to go the other way. get it more precise as far as his step, like crossing over, because that was a little forward more than over. But I want to make him run because we gotten to where we were finally out of each other's space, and he actually responded. So we got the little bits that we get.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get 2 more, 1 in each direction.
Okay.
And then we'll see if we can add movement. I find that I feel somebody would want more stuff to do